Welcome to the Saturday edition of Box Seat. I'm Adam McGrath and we're going to be taking a look at the final race day at Belmont Park for the season before we do return to Ascot. Hopefully the pockets are filled. We mentioned on Box Seat on Wednesday that William Pike was going to have a field day and he did exactly that with 4 winners. So we're hoping that the Singapore viewers did have a very good day and were able to end up with some nice money with the wins throughout the card. Let's take a look at the conditions that we are going to be faced with on Saturday. 33 degrees with possible thunderstorms here in Perth. The rail is out 3 metres and we will be racing on a good 3. Race number 1, it is over the 1400 metres. It's scheduled to commence at 1:18 and a few of these horses have been going against each other in recent times. 5 of the 8 come out of the same race of which they were defeated by Military Rain, and that is the replay that we're going to take a look at first. We'll start with Champagne Charger because she was able to finish 3rd on that occasion, but as I mentioned, plenty of the runners in this race to take a look at.
Express Snooper well back in the field. Pike hasn't flinched a muscle yet at the 300. He's about to give her a little dig in the ribs and Military Rain quickly extends and puts up 2.5 lengths. Champagne Charger starts to run on. In behind them is Let It Slip as well with 100 left to go. Military Rain is clear of them. She's got them done. All interest in the minors. Let It Slip runs to second just in front of Champagne Charger.
Champagne Charger did a really good job there finishing off strongly. It wasn't the only one in this field that did that. I was really impressed with Firebird. If you had a look down the straight, Firebird had no clear running at all and when got out late, actually finished off strongly, got home with 35.05, which was the same time as Express Snooper, which also ran on strongly as well. So I think those two have to come into some serious consideration for this race. Number 3, Rebel Queen's the interesting runner here. At the start, this horse looked like it was just going to be a 1,000 metre horse, maybe stretch out to the 1,100. But since the horse has come back this campaign, it's learned to take a sit, and we've seen a different racing style with that late turn of foot. We saw that in the first up run behind Hot Goods, and then last start going to York, took the sit and sat in about 4th position throughout the running, and then ended up kicking nicely and winning by 2 lengths, beating Foreseen, which has come out and won since as well. So Rebel Queen with just the 54 kilos with Jordan Turner to ride. It does look one that'll be very hard to beat in this race with that turn of foot, as I mentioned. Outside of them, Key to Fame was a dead heater last start. I think we'll take a lot of improvement from that run as well over the 1,200 metres. Barrier 3, a big positive here, and this horse will roll forward and certainly provide a bit of speed throughout the early stages. Let's take a look at selections for race number 1, and I'm going to be tipping at number 3, Rebel Queen. From number 7, Firebird, number 8, Champagne Charger, and number 5, Express Snooper. Race number 2 at Belmont Park. It is Australia race number 7 for our Singapore viewers. It's a staying event over the 2,200 metres. The replay that we're going to take a look at for this run is Sandpiper. Stepped up to the 2,200 metres for the first time and actually attacked the line really well. It was an impressive run, lost the Street Banner by half length, which has been in some pretty good form as well. And we get to have a look at Videlo Blue and also Who's to Blame, which was in the same race. So let's take a look now at Sandpiper's running on strongly and finishing 3rd.
Tango, Who's to Blame and Hold That V. Goldbroker quickly levelled up to maybe next year when they went to the 300. 2 lengths to Street Bandit being saved up for one final run. Sandpiper's inside of him. Followed further back, Black Royale starting to run on strongly. Street Bandit hit the front with 100 left to go. Street Bandit the leader from maybe next year. Black Royale and Sandpipers. Street Bandit in front though, and it'll win it, Street Bandit.
Good performance by Sandpipers and will be a lot fitter for that run and experience as well over the 2,200 metres. Jake Casey's riding really well, so they're 54.5 kilos. I do prefer the other runners in the race though that come out of that. So obviously Videlo Blue has William Pike and also Who's to Blame that gets a 3 kilo swing because of Randy Tan riding, so just the 51 kilos there. So although Sandpipers did put in a very good performance, I prefer the other 2 runners that actually finished behind it on that occasion. Friday come down to the Kalgoorlie Cup, was only beaten a length by Woodsville on that occasion, carrying the 54 kilos with Aaron Mitchell to ride just the 57 here, and this is an honest type. It normally strings together some pretty good performances, so I think it'll be very hard to beat here. And then you've got the likes of Master Robson and Top of the Wazza, which has shown that the midweek staying form isn't that different to the Saturday staying form at the moment as well. They both competed on Wednesdays, have gone to Saturdays and been there and abouts as well, and I can see especially Top of the Wazza really playing a part in the final stages of this race. Taking a look at selections for race number 2, and I'm going to be tipping at number 2 Friday. From number 7 Top of the Wazza, number 8 Who's to Blame, and number 1 Videlo Blue. Race number 3 at Belmont Park. It is Australia race number 9. It's the Irish Day Trophy over the 1,000 metres. Of course, it is Irish Day at Belmont Park on Saturday. So always one of the better days out there. There'll be plenty of people, plenty of drinks and excitement going around as well. So really looking forward to that. And this race is certainly one of the more exciting ones on the card as well. We see Shidell returning, has had the 10 career starts with the 8 victories and 1 second. Of course, was undefeated last campaign as well. Was super impressive, and with Emma Stemp riding at just at 53.5 kilos here. But meets some nice types as well with Mad Assa, who has a very good track and distance record of 5 attempts for 4 victories and a second. Smoko, Dutton, War Prince, and even Jack and Sam with that claim as well, just at 52 kilos. It is a very competitive race. The replay that we are going to take a look at though is Shidell. The last time we saw this runner was at Ascot on the 18th of April. Beat Rebel King on that occasion. Let's take a look at that run now.
They've softened up Shidell. Here's Rock Magic, the top weight. Rebel King behind them. Over on the inside, Dutton. Shidell found another gear though. At the 200, she'd race 2 in front of Rock Magic. Marchand down on the rail. It's the filly. Shidell clear. Rock Magic giving chase, but Shidell with Rebel King flying will hold on. And a new West Speed record. Shidell, brilliant.
Really impressive on that occasion, carried the 55.5, and even throughout that campaign carried anyway from that 55 to the 56.5 kilos and got the job done. So with the 53.5 here, no trial as well. Clearly David Harrison is very confident. We see him bring a lot of his runners to the track without a trial, and they still put in a really good performance. I think this might just be a sit and steer job for Emma Stemp. You don't want to be too confident when you do have runners like Smoko and Mad Assa, but this horse just showed that she is all class last campaign, and as I mentioned, with the 53.5 from barrier 2, she looks very hard to beat, and she will open up very short here in WA. Outside of those, Smoko, you look at the 1,000 metre record at the track and distance, 3 attempts for 2 victories and a second. So far this campaign has raced over the 1,200 and the 1,300. Was beaten by Wink and a Nod in both of those. They were good performances, but the 59 kilos here certainly is going to make it harder. 5.5 kilo difference between it and Shidell. That may just be too much. Number 2, Mad Assa, as I mentioned, in really good form as well. Has had the 11 career starts for 6 victories and 4 seconds. The only time this horse has missed a placing was when it raced over the 1,200 metres. As I mentioned, the 1,000 metre record is exceptional. Randy Tan to ride, so just the 54 kilos. This horse will go to the front and it will fight all the way to the line as well. So expecting a nice battle with Shidell. Let's take a look at selections. I am going to be tipping her on top. Number 3, Shidell. From number 2, Mad Assa. Number 1, Smoko. And number 4, Dutton. Race number 4 at Belmont Park. It is Australia race number 11. It's over the 1,200 metres, and an interesting race here, especially between 2 runners, which I've really narrowed this down to, and that is in number 5, Mississippian, and number 6, Pretapatia. Mississippian, a win at 2 starts ago in impressive fashion, and then last start flew home late to only lose by a necker in the end. Drawn nicely here, William Pike riding, and for those Singapore punters that followed Wednesday, William Pike, Bob Peters and Grant Williams, a formidable combination, and I think they'll be very hard to beat here again. Pretapatia certainly has some good form lines too, and we'll be getting to those in a second. But let's take a look at that last start run for Mississippian. It was the only defeat this campaign, but as I said, only just.
Turn by Mississippian, back in the ruck searching for runs. Terra Force coming to the middle, followed by Castle Retreat in the entourage. At the 215, Universal Moon's rider went for home, drew the whip. Prohurst Express, Coruscation down the outside running on. Universal Moon nearing the 100 though, clear of Coruscation. Prohurst Express and now Mississippian. Universal Moon in front, driving at it. Coruscation in the lane.
Really good run there by Mississippian on a day that it just didn't suit. You wanted to be out in front and not having to make up too much ground, and this horse actually gave away 2 kilos to most of the runners that had beat the start before. Universal Moon wasn't in that same race, but as you could see, certainly jumped out of the ground late and almost got there. And here with the 57.5 and the nice draw is going to be very hard to beat. I have put number 6, Pretapatia, on top though. Dion Luciani, Jerry Noski to ride. Barrier 4 just at 56 kilos. I really like this horse, and when you go through its 3-year-old form, and she hasn't been that bad this campaign either. On the first up run behind Meteoroid, she didn't have much luck, and it wasn't a day you wanted to run on from a wide gate. And last start was just beaten 2 lengths by My Sister Lou. It was a little bit disappointing over the final stages, but I still think this horse is building through the campaign nicely. 1,200 metres here. I'm happy to put her on top and hopefully get a little bit of a price from Mississippian. Outside of those, Rule to Win, we know is an honest type for Jim Taylor. Jordan Turner to ride. My only concern is this horse hasn't won over the 1,200. Has only had the 2 attempts, so placed on one of those, but I think the 1,000 metre is certainly the better distance where it has has won over 4 occasions. And another one returning, number 9, Bomber Bay. The blinkers go on here for trainer Ben Pearce. Joseph has a party to ride. This horse has promised a lot. It is still very green. I think we saw that in the trial as well recently on the 29th of September at Larkhill, that this horse does have a lot of improvement. But the day it switches on, this horse is a Saturday winner. There is no doubt about that at all. So have to throw it in the 4 for this race number 4, of course, Australia race number 11. Let's take a look at selections. I am going to be tipping number 6, Preta Batir, from number 5, Mississippian, number 7, Crown Choice, which does have the good form lines behind My Sister Lil as well, and number 9, Bomber Bay.